very excited to really hear your journey of how you started your nursing in St. Vincent and how you came here and how the process was, and anything that you want to share about today. So maybe we can just start by introducing yourself and talking about your country and how the immigration process was.
Okay. So my name is Jolene Tony. I am from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, beautiful island in the Caribbean, gem of the Antilles. Yes, I am an ambassador for my country.
I want to come there and
I'm
visit
sure
you.
you can, right? So, from Ireland there, and always been a nurse. Never worked any other jobs. The only job I've done is a nurse from the tender age of 18.
So do
Okay.
you think it was a call?
I think it was a calling. The way how it played out, I think it was a calling. I haven't had a bad day nursing in regards to the nursing aspect of what nursing is. There are other fandangles that come with that, the healthcare system that we can't change, the small pay that we can't change. There's all those things, but one of the things that I know is that I can change me. I am in control of me, and that's one of my powers.
When did you start your nursing? How did you process to come to US?
In St. Vincent, I'm pretty sure now they're up to a BSN program, but I did a certificate in nursing. It was a 3 years long program, so it's equivalent to associates here in America. And I went on and did my BSN in the UK. I did it online, Scotland, University of Dundee, is where I got my BSN. I've worked in another country, Cayman Islands. That's where I really grew and nurtured my career skills and knowledge. And then I was like, I'm ready for the next thing. So I was like, whips of the tail, and however they say that, I'm ready for the next best thing. So I was like, yeah, I probably should go and explore what America's has. I started, and then I was like, oh, I'm retired. Hey, I'm good. But then I had a kid, and I realized, whoo, changes calls for even more changes, and that's what pushed me to continue or to complete my journey in terms of immigration migration here. The process was pretty good. Start with an agency who streamlined everything was streamlined, processing immigration wise, processing NCLEX wise, and everything like that was pretty much streamlined well. Enjoyed it. And then I migrated to America like what, 3 years ago.
Okay. So how
Yep.
long did the process take? Did they pay for your expenses? Or
So
how
my
does that work?
process was, so because I started and stopped, I felt like it took me 3 years in total, but the 3 years was not because that's the process. I think the 3 years was because I was like, I don't need this, and then my kid came and I was like, okay, let me just do this. There are different ways to it. So you could have had them pay some parts of it, or you pay for your own thing, so it's less on them to do for you. For me, I took the opportunity to have everything paid by them, right? So everything was paid by them. Of course, you have to plan to come or plan to move, and it was my second time, migrating to another country. So I had the prior experience to build on. I knew that I needed to vet where I'm going. I knew that I needed to have some cash to start up. So the agency, they will have what they predict for you. You are your own person, so you will know how much will suit you. Because some of us are very, conservative. And so if we don't want to share everything, that's fine. So you will just know for your own self, like how much do you use on a monthly basis. You have to understand also, coming to America, there are taxes, right? A lot of us don't know that, but eventually when you get here, you get to know that your paycheck is really not all yours, because the taxes and other things that comes out of it. So, but pretty much, I made them do everything that they were willing to do for me, just to make it easier.
Okay. So when you say they pay everything for you to come to US, so does it mean you go into a contract with them, or
Yeah, it
you
was a
pay them
contract.
back, or what does it really mean?
So it is a contract that you come with. As you know, all agencies, it's a contract. You come, you're trading something. You're trading your skill, you're trading your time for money or for service, whatever they're trading for. My contract was 3 years long. Yeah. And so worked my contract, and now I'm blooming on my own.
You finished your contract.
Yeah.
All right. So Maybe you can tell us what is the reason that you moved from your country to a different country than to US? Was it just for opportunity or for
Uh,
finance or?
well, I mean, it's multifactorial for me, but for me, I always want to see what's the next best thing, what's out there for me. I envision my nursing career being really a big and fulfilling one. And so my country offered what it offered, and I had the opportunity to migrate, so I took it.
Okay.
I am one of the brave souls. You know, nothing has to be like a pressure for me to go. It's like I look at it and I'm very calculated with my risk that I will take. So once I calculated and it was gonna work out for me based on my calculation, I go for it, and then whatever else come on the side, I take it and see how best I could live with it.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That sounds really exciting. So,
Yeah.
how was the transition process when you came to US? So, for you to, what was the process? Did you have to do an exam to become a registered nurse
Uh,
in US?
No, so you most time you can get your qualifications evaluated. There are different agencies that can evaluate your qualifications for you. I know big time for international nurses, the Homeland Security likes your CGFNS. That's the company that they use to evaluate your documents for you. If English is not your first language, you may have to take an English exam, whether in your country. For me, I had to migrate here. Even though English was my first language, I don't know, I was vetted as a person who need to write English again. So I wrote English here.
I came from Kenya. English is our official language. So, I think most of the international nurses, you have to do the English.
Yeah, and then when I look at it, my country is a British country. So it's not American English. So maybe all of those things. But just be prepared to like write an English exam. It's straightforward. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you wrote your English, you did your NCLEX, the process for you to come. So when you came here, how was the first 2 years or the first 1 year?
It came with it challenges, and for me, as I said, because I had previously migrated, I knew some things and tips, and I've come to the US before, so I kind of knew how it ran, and I had some friends and family who kind of helped the situation out a little bit. But it was still a bit of a challenge. Right, it was still a bit of a challenge. It was a different healthcare system that functions differently, that values different things, and so changing my mindset to fit into the system that I am now working in was the biggest challenge for me. And it's growing on me to understand the things that are accepted in the healthcare system here versus like a British healthcare system. So in the Cayman Islands, we modeled British, so I saw that. In St. Vincent, it's somewhat British there too, but not so much strict ways. Here we're dealing with insurances and stuff, which I got to see in the Cayman Islands.
So you talked about having a different system where in British system healthcare is provided and is free. While you came to US, it's most of the time based on insurances and whether the patient can be able to afford it.
It's three system. In St. Vincent, healthcare is free. Now, if it's free, you know what is free. You get what they can afford to give you. Okay, and of course you're paying your taxes, so you expect at least healthcare that would be at a level to keep the community safe and everything like that. But when I say it's free and you can get what you get for free, meaning that I didn't see there like specialty nursing is not big there, right? When I went to Cayman Islands, specialty nursing was not a big thing, but there were the specialist doctors. Health insurance, medical insurance is mandatory in the Cayman Islands. In the British system, is mandatory. You have to have it. In America, you have to have it, but you don't really have to have it. You know what I mean? The difference I saw there was because it's mandated and it's in the books. The quality of care is a little bit higher,
Okay.
right? Because
here?
you in the Cayman Islands, in the British, because you've paid for what you want your health outcomes to be like. Whereas here in America, yes, it's mandated for medical insurances, but there are different levels to it. Like there's Medicare, there's Medicaid, there is private insurance, there is you just paying your own health insurance. And so at different steps and stages in it, you will realize that you're not eligible for this. Not saying it happens, right? But I'm just saying you may not be eligible for this while you need this. You may have to pay out of pocket for this. So those differences, I think it caused like some disparities in healthcare here. And as such, I would always say yes to health insurance. I would always say yes to health insurance. It is so important.
Maybe you can talk also about your personal life when you the transition period.
Well, I'm 95 degrees in the shade. So right now the temperatures are dropping, what, 20 degrees every night. I'm not about that. So the weather system was one. The food I love, I'm a foodie. I will try anything. I'm very open with food. So that was good. Southern food, we're here in North Carolina, and Southern food is so yummy. So much love going to their cooking. So I love that. As I said, it was different because nursing is nursing, but there are different things that bombarded that. I was fortunate to have childcare at the hospital where I work, so that worked out great for me. Minus the 14 hours she had to be there, but at least I knew where she was. I could have just go downstairs and run out to the parking lot over to the facility and see her if I needed to. There was that option. So I really chose that hospital because to some extent I had some privilege to say yes or no, right? So I was like, yeah, because my kid is going to go to work with me. So it kind of made it easier. Driving was crazy. In the islands we drive on the left, up here we drive on the right. So one time I was on the left, but again the Southern hospitality helped me with that. So some things are bad, but you have to look for the good in it. Then I eventually found the church. I eventually found like Joanne, beautiful people. So those things help to make the journey lighter, easier, because now I'm sharing with you and you're sharing with me, and then we get to understand we're not alone in it. So that helps.
And how did your child adjust to the new environment and the schools?
Oh man, my kid is a trooper. We've been traveling together and she's been adapting so well. One of the things like I teach her is bravery, and so her name is London and it actually means brave. London.
Oh.
Yeah, it actually means brave. And I was like, my kid is majestic, like the city of London.
Wow.
And I mean, I model that type of character or whatever you want to call it to
You
her,
do.
and she sucks it up. Kids are like blank slates, they're sponges. So if you have your kid and you want to bring your kid to America, I would say bring them when you're coming. Don't leave them back there. Say we're going to try to bring them after. For me, it was a struggle with her, a single mom, but what kept me was that she's here. I don't have to worry now what's going on over there, little bad news here. So again, you'll have to plan for that.
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the place that you live? Was it easy to identify somewhere to live?
Yeah, so again, I topped in heavily on my previous migration, because my previous migration was like time 2. I was moving from island to island there. So of course everything is online. So I knew what I wanted my home setting to look like. I looked online to see what would model that, and then I picked it. Agency was willing to help. They show you options. You can choose. Nothing is forced down your throat. So I picked what I wanted.
So I know many nurses, when they keep reaching out or DMing me about coming to US, they're always talking about the financial and the opportunities. So maybe you can comment about how is the salaries and everything else.
Again, I always will say make sure you are taking what you want and what will work in your life. Okay? If you are planning for a salary cut, make sure that you have the backup, right? Because you have your life back there and you're going to start a new life here, and you will find for a time you'll have to support the life back there and the life here, and that can stretch your money thin. So make sure when you're accepting your paycheck, what it would look like, please factor in the taxes, because you ain't getting that whole paycheck. Please factor in the taxes. Everything is on Google. Ask how much your tax would be based on state, and then look at the money in your dollars and see if it's gonna suit the life you have there and the life you're gonna have here. And if you have to put back some there and use the rest here, would it worth it? Over time you're going to increase your salary, of course, whether you're here or wherever you at. The plan is to increase the salary. So I like to say, let me sacrifice now for the life that I want.
Okay.
So you have to just see which part you want to sacrifice.
Okay. So are you trying to say that the money wasn't more when you were at home compared with here? The salary isn't much more?
It's much less here for me, the capacity that I work.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why I say it's multifactorial. You have to know what you want. I wanted freedom. I wanted to see other countries. I wanted to travel. I wanted my kid to have all these, like, she's in a classroom, it's 15 students in a classroom, but it's public school with a private school setting. So you have to see what you're trading for. You know, if, as I said in a previous interview with you, if you just focus on the money, you get what comes with that. But when you put together what you want with your life and then focus on the money, everything comes together.
And you can check one of the videos that I interviewed her, and she talked about the specialization and going for your passion, because that's one of the videos that we did before.
Right.
But yes, as you're saying, I think there is more to life and balance and preventing burnout
Yes.
than necessarily the money.
Yes, yes. Because if you chase the money you will make it. But I'm telling you, you're gonna be burnt out. You're gonna be inadequate sleep. You're gonna be so edgy. Everything is gonna bother you. So strike the balance. And as I shared before too, like, I help persons with that. I help persons in their finances also. Joanne, I heard you mention initially about my financial professionalism that I did. I do that complimentary for persons. So I can help people. If you want, you can reach out
And we
to
can
me.
have a conversation, because I know if there is something that we are not taught in nursing school is finance.
Yes.
So yes, you're paid money and you get salary, but nobody really tells us how to manage our
manage
money.
it.
So I would really look forward to talking
Sure.
about financial literacy one of these days.
Yes, yes.
So one other thing that I really wanted to ask you was, is there anything that you will tell a nurse who is looking forward to coming to US? Anything that they need to be cautious about, or something that is exciting about the opportunity?
It's a beautiful opportunity. Again, you have to know what you want. I'm always going to put it back on you. So when you said, okay, for me, let's do me, right? I wanted to see more places. I wanted a bigger environment for my kid because I was coming from a smaller environment. I saw that my kid had a lot of potential. And I was like, where in the world can I put her where she can explore all of these potential? And then there was the application that I had put aside, right? I was like, oh, that application. So for me, it was all of those things that drive me and still drives me today. You know, because she's only 7, so I still have more years I have to put into her passion and her drive. So she dances and she enjoys playing at the park. And now you have parks here, they're free with slides and water parks. And you know, so when I pay my taxes, I feel good because I can just drive up somewhere like right here is the rose garden. You don't even have to pay to go and see a rose garden, smell the roses, you know. So just know exactly what you want in your life. And it doesn't matter where you are, honestly, you will get it. If you plan for it and you're working towards it, you will get it.
So you talk about traveling and doing other things. Have you been able to travel to different
Oh
states?
my
now that you said you're in
goodness.
North Carolina?
I love to drive, and North Carolina is like we could go south, east, west, north. And so I've gone out a few states. Very beautiful, especially this is the time I will take my long drives up to sometime 8 hours. It's really beautiful. My daughter, as I mentioned, she's a trooper. She loves it. And so we will just drive out on a weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. My son always says that he wants to do the 50 states. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I have that on my bucket list too. I think I've done maybe 10 I've done so
Wow,
far.
you're doing well.
Yeah. Some I've visited before coming here to live, but it's beautiful. Like I can just drive to Florida, I can drive to New York, I can drive to Atlanta, I can drive to South Carolina. I would drive to California one day because I'm still to go to
Take
the
me
San
with you.
Francisco the bridge. I'm yet to see that. I mean, Texas is right there. You can
Yes.
drive there too. So
19 hours.
yeah, just be brave and plan it. Can we be safe totally? Just be calculated. You know, yeah.
Is there a word that you live for, a word that you like using every day in your nursing career?
Okay, so I think you asked me this the last interview, and it still stands. It is success. That's my word. Success. It drives me. Not to thump my chest, but just to feel fulfilled. As a person, if I'm successful, no matter how small the task, if I win my day by completing everything on my to-do list, I know a lot of people don't like to-do lists because most time they don't get it done. So your get it done list, yeah, once I get that checked off, I feel so good at the end of the day because the next day I'm not carrying forward anything. So being successful is very important to me, and it's my one word. Success is my motivator. Yes.
All right. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. It was a pleasure.